Dr. Gina here for PolitiChicks.tv at the Wende Museum with Commander Dyer. She is really the lady of the evening who has told us all about what is so important about this Cold War Museum, as we might subtitle it. Tell us your interest in this, Commander.
Well, I'm writing a book about the Cold War and Ronald Reagan, and this museum is just fabulous. It has so many wonderful artifacts, things that I think everyone would be interested in. It just grabs your heart, because these are all the things from the people who were behind the walls of the Cold War, the people on the East and the communist side.
Some people will say this basically ended 22 years ago. Did the Cold War end 22 years ago? Why is this relevant today, Commander?
Well, one of the reasons is that the world we live in today was shaped by the Cold War. World War II and the Cold War created all the political boundaries that we have today, who people think they are and the names they give themselves. And the other reason is that the Cold War was a war for hearts and minds, and that never really ends.
What things do you see today that might remind you or might harken back to things that we should be maybe looking at from the Cold War originally?
One of the biggest things, I think, is really getting into our hearts what freedom means to us, because when we did that, we elected a president for whom freedom was everything, Ronald Reagan, and basically that brought the Cold War to an end. Ronald Reagan said freedom will triumph, and if we believe that, again, that's going to be 90% of the battle on any of the hearts and minds issues that we're fighting now.
What are the answers for patriots out there who feel like hope is lost for freedom these days?
Well, I would say the biggest answer is that freedom starts from within us. And freedom never just happens. It has to be fought for and preserved through political fighting. And something that I learned in the Navy that I would tell everyone is the battle's not over until you give up. So that's what we have to do, is not give up.
Commander Dyer, tell us something about Ronald Reagan that we don't know, that's not out there in the media, that you know from your personal experiences with him.
Well, one of the things I would say is people may not be aware of how much a part of him it was to confront people directly. A lot of Americans probably don't know that when he was in Hollywood, this was in the 1940s, he was president of the Screen Actors Guild, and a group of fellow actors were trying to basically have a communist takeover of the Screen Actors Guild. And Reagan didn't handle it the way most people would. He and a buddy went to the home of one of the people where the meeting was taking place. They walked into the home, and Reagan made his case right there in front of all his fellow actors. He knew they would be angry. He knew that they would hate what he was saying, but he did it anyway. He wanted to go in and talk directly to them and make his case person to person. That was such an important thing for Reagan, and it's something we can really learn from.
Where can people learn more about you, more about your book?
My own website is theoptimisticconservative.wordpress.com.
Okay.
And I've written for Hot Air. That's one place to go. I am writing for a new website called libertyunyielding.com.
Okay.
So those are several places to go.
And you're a PolitiChicks fan?
I absolutely am, yes.
Right. Dr. Gina reporting for PolitiChicks.tv. Dr. Gina here for PolitiChicks.tv, and I am with the founder and director here of the Wende, I hope I'm saying it right since I'm with you, museum, which has a new location, lots of exciting things happening. This matters to freedom fighters around the world. Why?
Because the Wende Museum is a place that provides access to stories like this. This is pink Lenin, which was painted like that 1 month before the wall fell, and it really tells a story of the rise and fall of a whole time era, and it's really symbolic of a regime that rose and fell.
And so tell us a little bit about what's happening with the museum, because this is really exciting, especially as we out here who do love our liberties are watching them being eroded every day. I think that's not political to say. I think it really is happening in this country. At least some of us see it that way. What is the museum doing to help people recognize what we're really losing fundamentally?
Well, I think our whole approach with the museum is inviting people here to see what kinds of collections that really they respond to. I mean, what we see is the themes of the Cold War come out again and again. Issues of walls in our lives, surveillance, things like that, that are very much a part of the world that we live in today, but we're also very much part of this time period. So we invite people to come down there and explore it for themselves.
All right, and tell us about the new location.
New location is a former National Guard armory in Culver City, and we hope to be open about mid-2014, but we hope to get as many people as we can there and involved and engaged. So if anybody's interested in being a part of this great project, please check out our website and become our Facebook friend.
And that website is?
www.vendemuseum.org. It's WENDE museum.org.
Tell folks what is worth coming here, all the way here, to see this museum and to help fund it, frankly, because that's really what you're needing at this point. Yeah, that is actually what we need. And one of the things that I think we do a great job of is reaching out way beyond the borders of LA or the state. I mean, we have an online site, we have interviews, access, and, we feel like the Cold War is so much more than just a series of things and a collection of artworks and posters like you see around you right now. It's the stories of those who lived through the time period and who can share it, and we have those all online too. So if we want to record this past, we want to learn from it, we have to make sure that a group like ours is around to do that kind of work. So we invite everybody to get involved with us and learn more about what we do. Okay, last question. I really want to know personally what motivated you to do this, to found a museum like this. People just don't set out to do this every day. What was your motivation? Well, look, I mean, I think it's a time period that is recent, and there's not a lot of other people out there doing it. So it seemed to me like a clear choice in a way that we could either let these things fall by the wayside, be thrown out or destroyed, or we can collect and preserve them. And I think that, our staff does a great job of doing all the things they can to make sure that these things survive not only for the next 10, 20 years, but way into the future. And that's what it's really all about. We want to be able to have a place where people can come to, and, something that appealed to me as a person that is interested in the past, and to have a place where we can come and really learn about it. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for all you're doing. And please thank your staff for us. We've had a great time here tonight at the Wende Museum, and I hope everyone will check it out. And because, as you know, PolitiChicks TV, very vested in our liberties. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.